Hi, this is Donna Smith, speaking from my home in Denver, Colorado. I'm sorry I'm not there in Northampton to be a part of the celebration of PDA's 10th anniversary and to memorialize Tim Carpenter, the founder of PDA and good friend and wonderful organizer, and somebody so many of us looked up to and were friends with. It's really hard to know everything we all could say about Tim, and I'm not going to try and say everything I could say about him. I'm just going to try and speak from the heart for a minute. I first met Tim on July 17th of 2007, and I remember the day so vividly because I was testifying in front of the House Judiciary Committee on medical bankruptcy, and Tim was one of the people in the audience. I didn't know him. I didn't know about PDA. I certainly didn't know much about what kind of single-payer work was going on in the country, but I did know how much people were suffering without the right kind of access to health care. And Tim, I met, he was sitting out on a bench outside the Rayburn House office building somewhere that we spent an awful lot of time together through the next 7 years. And he just very gently and very warmly introduced himself to both me and my husband Larry and invited us to be a part of whatever we might want to do with PDA. And that was really my first introduction to PDA and to Tim. And which was so typical, and what was so typical of Tim, by the time I got home there was already a phone call waiting for me from a state organizer here in Colorado. Evie is her name. She's no longer the state coordinator for PDA chapter here, but in any case, she really brought me into the fold with PDA and helped me understand more about all the issues, the progressive issues. What I would soon find out about Tim is how genuinely gifted he was in terms of lifting me and lifting other people around him to be absolutely the best spokespersons for their own positions and their own points of view. And that's really rare in organizing. Most people that I've seen in organizing, unfortunately, are very anxious to tell you their point of view and to speak for you. But few have the courage and the conviction that Tim had to really lift you and allow you to be empowered and be a part of the process. And Tim really did that for me. It's hard to talk about him from a cancer patient's perspective. I want to shift a little bit, and I've shared this with some other people. My cancer right now is really in remission, which is a wonderful new place for me to be. At least as far as we know, it is. No cancer patient can really know that for certain, but as much as we know it can be, it is. And I'm struggling with some other health things, but I always felt a little bit bad, at least in the last few months, about why some of us with cancer get a little less difficult road than Tim had, and why the universe operates the way it does, and I don't know the answer to that. I know that I tried to prepare for the day when Tim would die, and apparently I had not done so emotionally, because when I heard on just about 10 days ago or almost 2 weeks ago that he had died, I was devastated, and I continue to be devastated by that loss. It's a loss for me personally. It's a loss for the movement for single payer. It's a loss for the peace and justice movement in this country. And what I've seen pour out over the internet even reinforces that more. So many people with so many amazingly wonderful stories about how Tim loved them and loved their work and brought them forward, and then funny stories about the Tim we all knew, about his love of meat and steak and his love of his daughters and his wife. so many things that just were all Tim, all wrapped into one, and will be so deeply missed by so many of us. And I think the best thing that I can do to keep Tim always front and center in my life, I don't think that's going to be very hard for me because I'm going to miss him a lot. But I think that to honor him, I'm going to try to carry out what he wanted me to, which was to re-energize a chapter here in Colorado of PDA, to continue to lift people around me, no matter our idiosyncrasies, to go as high and as far as we want to make a progressive agenda possible in this country again, and to love people, to truly love people. And thank you all for being there in Northampton. I miss you, and I'll miss Tim. And I'll look forward to hearing how it went and celebrating with you in person very soon.